the empathic leaders, because you have a different charge. And if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you now, one of your things that you need to know if you're struggling with your life purpose, or like, what are you supposed to do? Your mission is it's centered directly inside of your heart. Your heart is what's going to burn the path for you to walk. That's your individual life path, and it comes from your heart. That's it. There is no other way around it. There are no shortcuts. So you may have to go down the path of exploring your pain. That's something you have to do. You have to get down into kind of like sifting through and digging up and transmutating so much so that you can be that beacon / kind of like guide for someone else to do the same thing for themselves, and to kind of pass the baton and so on and so forth. So there are, unfortunately, out of that, when you hear the term empaths, you kind of, there's a negative kind of association similar to the ego. There's always like this kind of this thing that we tend to demonize. Unfortunately, the reason being is because there are a lot of narcissists that hide themselves or cloak themselves under the term empath, or they call themselves an empathic leader, or whatever the case is. And the difference between the two is that narcissists, they're afraid of their emotions. Either they're afraid of their emotions, so they choose not to feel them, or they have no emotional capacity whatsoever. Usually, the path of an empath, when they are in a process of exploring their pains, they may temporarily step on this little piece of land called Narcissa. They step on the Narcissist land for a moment to kind of like, what I want to say is recalibrate. And they usually step on that land if they have no guidance on how to navigate their emotions. They don't know how to feel those feelings and learn and process them. So they have to learn through narcissism. The thing with that is that if you're not careful enough, if you stay on that strip of land for too long, you could become a full-blown narcissist. Usually, most empathic leaders, they leave that. They leave that temporary land, and they start over with life. They go through this death and rebirth, and then they understand that it was the heart all along that is the source of their strength. But unfortunately for narcissists, what it is that they were the ones that were hurt and chose to just avoid doing the work. So what they do is, instead of they leave that land, they go from narcissism from 0 to 100, and then they build their own little platform above the rest of society, and they sit there and they observe the real empathic leaders and the real lovers, and they study them. They study their mannerisms. They do all this other kind of stuff, and they just mimic and they regurgitate all of the things that genuine empathic people, empathic leaders, how they operate. So because they're in this high hill, they're very inaccessible. They're easily insulted. They cannot, in social settings, they struggle the most with genuinely connecting on an emotional sense, because they don't even know how to navigate emotions. Big difference. Another kind of like little tip you'll notice. If you notice them on social media, they may never have genuine work with people. All they do is regurgitate what other people, other empaths and other empathic leaders say and do. They rarely showcase their work with the populace. All they do is seek validation by talking about the type of empath that they are, or they're stuck on the identity more than anything. Rarely do they encourage others to do the work to get through a lot of their emotions and get through to a lot of the stuff, all the hurt and pain that they may have experienced to get through. They don't do any of that. Their focus is all about, what kind of empath are you? Are you empath number 1? It's a little cringy, but I understand that we're all on different paths. However, the narcissist, the pure narcissist cloaked as an empath, they have no interest in any of those things that genuine empathic leaders do. They do not try to put themselves in the shoes of another. They are hardened. They have the walls. They have no boundaries. They created walls, and that's what makes them inaccessible. Big difference between the empathic leader and the narcissist. They're very easy to identify based on either how they interact in social settings or on how they showcase themselves on social media. Little things you'll notice. But surprise, empathic leaders, that's your mission in life. Your mission in life is to get through all of your pain. And your mission in life is to spread the love, spread the light, you know. So yeah, the root of love is hi. You know, in our human incarnation, in our human life, it's in the heart. You know, it is. It is. And our hearts do change. You know, our metaphorical hearts change. They do. You know, the more you learn, the more things change. But as the leader, that thing for you, it doesn't change. For you, it doesn't. It won't. You just have to learn how to be more intelligent. That's where the emotional intelligence comes in. But emotional intelligence is not detachment from feeling. It isn't. It's just knowing when to give your energy, knowing when to be the guide, or knowing how to be as hands-on. There are levels to it. There are times when you can't just do it all and be all. You have to just point the finger and say, here's the direction to go, versus let me do it for you. That's not your job to do. Your job is to guide. That's it. So that is your life purpose. Your life purpose, you empathic leader, you is to be the guide. But your before you get to that point, it's all through getting through your own, sifting through your own stuff, transmuting a lot of those ugly things or using it as your source of power to now to live the life and being that guide for someone else. That's it. You know, let's not focus so much on the narcissist, but just understand that that's it's a real thing, and you want to just continue to show up as you do. You'll know. You'll know. The real ones have a poor ability in showing up. I got a text message. Anyway, okay, that's all I wanted to share. If you wanted some kind of some more insight on the whole heart thing, if you're into anime, watch Sailor Moon. There's two on Hulu. There's Sailor Moon Crystal, which is the one I don't recommend. Watch the other one. You can watch the full thing, or you can watch, I think it's season 5, which is the Pure Heart Saga. That's the one where they do, the plot of the story is the darkness. I'm just going to be really quick with it. The darkness knows that there are 3 hearts that they need to create the Holy Grail. Inside of these hearts are talismans that, if unified, create the Holy Grail. That Holy Grail, touched by darkness, can destroy the world, or if it's touched by the one that, you know, the light, creates healing for the world. And the darkness is searching and scouring the world, shooting out the hearts of innocent people to locate the talismans. And then you learn who holds the talismans, and then you learn who gets the Holy Grail, and how life changes for society as a result of that. So it teaches about the heart, about its purity, and what the fire of the heart can do. The inside of your hearts, you all of you people should know, and I'm really talking to the leaders, but just in everyone, your heart is the source of your joy. It's where all of your happiness and all of that kind of stuff is. So get real acquainted with your hearts. Just accept that you can't live your life super cerebral. You can't. That's just not for you. Your life it's all in the heart. So you won't be so obsessed. It keeps you out of the realm of being so wrapped around perfection and all these different things, because the heart doesn't know that. The brain is taught those things, but the heart is different. The heart doesn't know how this needs to be done and to what level and all that kind of stuff. Yes, excellence and all those things, they matter, but you guys are different. We're different. We can't function like other people do. So, and for some that makes people envy you, because it's all about the emotions, in a place where you have society talking about, oh, you know, everyone, you're too emotional. That's in one aspect. When people say that, mean people are easily manipulated.